Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life, and the stories that shape our lives come together. Today, we're celebrating Easter, a holiday that looks a little different in every corner of the world, yet always carries the same message of renewal, hope, and light. So let's take a little journey together. Here are 10 Easter traditions from around the world that remind us just how beautifully diverse this season can be. Number 1, Italy. In Florence, Italy, the Scoppio del Cado, which is the explosion of the cart, fills the city with fireworks. It's a centuries-old ritual meant to bring good fortune for the year ahead. Number 2, Greece. Families dye eggs a deep, vibrant red and tap them together in a friendly cracking game. The unbroken egg is said to bring luck. Number 3, Poland. At the Easter table, you'll find the beloved butter lamb, a small lamb sculpted entirely from butter, symbolizing peace and the promise of spring. Number 4, Spain. During Semana Santa, candlelit processions move slowly through the streets, blending art, devotion, and tradition in a way that feels timeless. Number 5, Bermuda. Good Friday is celebrated with handmade kites soaring across the sky, bright, geometric, and symbolic of Christ's ascension. Number 6, France. In the town of Haux, that's H-A-U-X, a giant omelet made with more than 1,000 eggs is cooked in the square and shared with the community. Number 7, Sweden. Children dress as Easter witches, going door to door with drawings in exchange for sweets. It's playful, colorful, and full of charm. Number 8, Australia. In Australia, the Easter bilby takes the spotlight instead of the bunny, and it's a sweet way to raise awareness for endangered wildlife. Number 9, the Philippines. Communities reenact the Passion with powerful street performances that blend faith, history, and artistry. And number 10, the United States. The White House Easter egg roll brings families together on the lawn for a tradition that's more than a century old. 10 traditions, 10 windows into how the world celebrates renewal. Easter may be expressed differently from place to place, but at its heart, it's always about hope, community, and the beauty of beginning again. Stay with me as we will be exploring the traditions of Ireland with my special guest today, Judith McLoughlin, who is the author of Return to Ireland, a cookbook with traditional Irish recipes. And we are going to explore Irish traditions for Easter. And my guest today is Judith McLoughlin. She is a chef and the author of Return to Ireland. And Easter is coming up, and I thought we could share some Easter traditions from Ireland, what some traditions are that they do have. Judith, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on again. I'm so
Great.
honored to be back.
Thank you. Thanks for being on again. So I am not familiar at all with any traditions, any Irish traditions. What types of things do they do in Ireland for the Easter holidays?
Yeah, well, Easter is such a special holiday in Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And some of our traditions are rooted in pagan Ireland, and some of them are rooted in Christian Ireland. And
Ah,
in a good Irish way, we combine both the pagan and the Christian traditions together, and they all blend into one big celebration. So
ah,
probably the most Good Friday is coming up. So
yes.
traditionally we make hot cross buns.
Ah.
And that's a tradition that would be made in England as well,
Uh-huh.
throughout the UK and Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And that's a recipe that's in my cookbook, Return to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a yeast bread that
Mm-hmm.
is spicy with lots of wonderful nutmeg and cinnamon,
Uh-huh.
and then it has fruit in it,
Uh-huh.
and then it's got a pastry cross on it, just like the name hot cross buns that we
Ah,
can
on the
we,
top.
we do a little bit of pastry
Uh-huh.
on top. We mark them with an X, and but they're traditional. You'll see them in any shop that would be promoting both English or Irish
Uh-huh.
goods throughout the US,
Uh-huh.
and it's a delicious sweet treat, and we have to do a nice glaze over that, a nice sweet
Mm-hmm.
glaze. But of course, in Ireland, like a lot of Christians around the world, are maybe fasting, or
Uh-huh.
partially fasting during Easter time. So it's
Yes.
the breaking of the fast. So
Uh-huh.
the breaking of the fast would be the hot cross buns, would be the
Right.
the Good Friday tradition for something sweet. And
Yes.
they are delicious. So
Uh-huh.
that's something that I do living in America. I,
Yes.
I, I miss the hot cross buns because they're always maybe in a local bakery or in
Mm-hmm.
all the shops. It's very traditional to enjoy those
See that hat.
particular buns. Yes.
Yes. It sounds like that's the type of, like, I know in Italy and some other countries they have like a bread that they do for Easter. So I guess that's what they do for like a bread, the hot cross buns, right, for Easter.
Yes.
And what's the typical Easter meal like?
Well, the Easter Sunday, again, it's a big feast.
Ah,
And traditionally, we would serve lamb for the
uh-huh,
entree, roasted lamb.
uh-huh,
And of course, we'd have our potato dishes. That would be traditionally our champ potatoes, where I come in the north of Ireland with their spring
uh-huh,
onions, or maybe Kilcannon,
uh-huh,
just all different types of maybe roasted potatoes with that as well, roasted vegetables,
hmm,
root vegetables, parsnips, carrots, maybe
right,
some leeks, which
uh-huh,
is traditional, that would have a nice thin cream sauce as well. That recipe's in my
uh-huh.
cookbook as well. And then we might start off with a nice spring vegetable soup, would be nice for
Oh,
an
that sounds good.
appetizer.
Uh-huh,
We put leeks into our spring vegetable soup, and that would have carrots
hmm,
and a little bit of potato, and then we would blend that, puree that
uh-huh,
together. It's a
uh-huh.
very light spring soup.
Yeah, it sounds like a light soup. Uh-huh.
It's a nice starter, to the feast. And
Yes.
and then of course we have an array of wonderful desserts.
Ah,
Probably one of the most famous is called a simnel cake.
oh,
And
what's that?
it's a fruit cake.
Hmm.
Now personally I don't make it because it's pretty something, but it's something my grandmother would have made us
When you
a
say a fruit
tradition.
cake, do you mean like the dried fruit cake?
Yes,
Ah,
it is. And I suppose, I know there's always a joke whenever
okay.
I moved to America, I went
Yes,
to a cooking,
right.
everybody brought a recipe to share, and I thought, oh, well, I'll
Yes,
share my favorite fruit cake, and
yes,
everybody laughed, and I was so offended I didn't get it. And then a
yes.
friend had to pull me aside and said, oh, in America that's not really a treat to share a recipe for a fruit cake. It's kind of a joke. and
Uh-huh.
and I thought, really? Because in Ireland,
Uh-huh.
a fruit cake is a really special thing for Easter or
Uh-huh.
for Christmas. We do a
Uh-huh.
traditional
Right.
fruit cake. So the simnel
Yes.
cake, it's kind of similar to our traditional fruit Christmas cake
Mm-hmm.
in the actual recipe, but we decorate it with marzipan. And then
Ah,
it has 11 little balls on top that
uh-huh.
represent it's obviously the 11 disciples. They leave off Judas
Ah,
because he was the betrayer, but
mm-hmm.
they have 11 little marzipan,
Mm-hmm.
balls, and it's It's a it's a delicious
Wow,
cake, and
sounds really good.
it's lovely. My sons are Americans, and so
Uh-huh.
they always didn't. When whenever I make the fruitcake, I said, "Mom, we don't want it. We don't enjoy fruitcake." So I
Uh-huh.
didn't, continue the tradition. But it's something that personally I grew up with, and I love, and I really miss my Christmas cake, and I miss my
Wow.
Easter simnel cake. But they're just
Yes.
wonderful memories of
Oh,
something.
yes. Sounds like that would probably take a long time to make, right? The
It
fruitcake.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real, just like the fruit cake. It's a very soaked in love, and
Right.
time, and
Right.
it's one of those things I look back on within Easter, and I associate that with very happy times.
Exactly. So what time usually do they have dinner in Ireland? Because I know in Italy they usually eat their dinner like at, 1 or 2 o'clock. Do they do that in Ireland, or is it more like America where they eat at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, like for a holiday?
Yes, for a holiday, it would be similar to American, that we would have a nice lunch,
Uh-huh.
possibly going to church that morning, and then
Right.
the family coming together and having
Uh,
a feast, and always, a wonderful array of desserts. That's
right.
the memories. One thing that we would always do is pavlova, is
Uh-huh.
and that
Oh, a
would be
pavlova. Uh-huh.
pavlova, and my family would always do pavlova in little nests, little Easter nests. So
Uh-huh.
we'd bake it, and like a little bird's nest, and then they would
Yes.
be filled with. Sometimes we would fill them with the obviously fresh cream and
Uh-huh.
strawberries, and that are always so starting to get good this time of year, fresh
Right.
fruits. And maybe for
Right.
the children, we would do the little Cadbury's chocolate eggs
Uh-huh.
to decorate,
Oh, yes, the Cadbury's
which
chocolate
are
ice.
delightful, and they're
Yes,
a lovely
yes,
presentation.
yes, yes. That sounds
Yes.
wonderful. Sounds like a really good. And I'm assuming in Ireland it's the same with, do they do Easter baskets with chocolate Easter eggs and the bunnies and things like that?
Yes, it wouldn't really be as big in Ireland with the bunnies, and that was
Uh-huh.
something that I did not grow up with doing
Uh-huh.
in Ireland, and
Hmm.
and I think my kids are probably realizing they probably miss out, because I have never really done that for my
So they didn't
children
really,
in
I
America.
think that's a very commercial thing that they do here
It
in
is.
America. So they don't really do that then in
No,
Ireland for Easter.
it wasn't I suppose the one thing that we did do in Ireland is that we always gave children beautiful chocolate eggs,
Oh,
and they would
okay.
have been really nice. The chocolate is really good, as you know, in Europe. So we would have had a delicious, shell with, a
Yes.
specialized egg with a
Uh-huh.
treat inside, and
Hmm.
and that was always something, as a child I would have had. I was the youngest of three
Uh-huh.
girls, three children, and I was the baby. So I was really spoiled, because when my sisters were grown up, and I was the one that got all the eggs, and I used to line them around my bedroom, all my beautiful chocolate eggs. And of course, I could never eat all of the chocolate.
Yes.
And
Yes.
my mother used to make things afterwards with the chocolate, melt down
Oh,
the chocolate.
yes.
And one of
I'm sure you
those
can melt those.
one of the recipes that is pretty famous, which we make after Easter, is called a chocolate biscuit cake.
Oh,
And we would melt the leftover eggs, and then add the what we call digestive biscuits. You call them graham
yeah.
crackers, but it's a
Yes.
different type of
Yes.
cookie. We'd crumble those with the chocolate, and also put the leftover, maybe mini eggs in there, other treats that we would, assemble all of that, all the different biscuits, and melt
Oh,
it down,
to a
and
cake.
cover that with chocolate, and then make a lovely slice out of it, or maybe what we call a tray bake, put it in a pan, cut it up
Uh-huh.
with chocolate, and then the entire family would enjoy making those. So that was always something that we did after Easter
After
to
Easter.
enjoy, so there wouldn't
Uh-huh.
be any waste.
Yes, yes. I heard about that chocolate biscuit cake from in online. They had something that I think the royal family, some members of the royal family in England, they're partial to that chocolate biscuit cake. It might have even been Queen Elizabeth, but I think they're partial to that. They talked about that chocolate biscuit cake. That's the first time I heard about that, but that sounds delicious. And yeah, that's a great way to use up the leftovers from
Yes.
Easter to make a cake like that. I'm sure it's yummy also. That sounds really good.
It
Very
is
good.
delicious. I think I had read that as well. I'd read that it was Prince
Prince
Lord
William
Prince
made,
William actually had
yes.
said
I
it was
think
one of
they
his favorite
actually
cakes.
had a chocolate biscuit cake at his wedding also because that's one of his favorite things. So yes, that was it. You're right. You're
Yes,
right. Oh wow. Well, that sounds all delicious and we're almost out of time. Thank you so much for sharing
of course.
dishes. And I know you have a lot of recipes in the book Return to Ireland, right? So people can if they want to find some recipes, they can definitely take a look at that and look for your book Return to Ireland. And people can find that anywhere online, right?
Absolutely. Yes,
Yes,
available everywhere.
Return
Hatherley
to Ireland.
Press and Penguin Random House distribute it for them.
Great. So that's Return to Ireland by Judith McLoughlin. Judith, thank you so much for being here and have a great Easter also.
Thank you so much for having me and wishing you a wonderful Easter as well, Maria.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That wraps up our look at Easter traditions from around the world. No matter how you celebrate with food, family, faith, or simple moments of spring, may this season bring you a sense of renewal and light. And before I end the show, I just want to thank everyone that came out to my cooking demo and book signing at Buck's Country Gardens in Doylestown, Pennsylvania last weekend. And I also want to thank everyone at Buck's Country Gardens for making it a wonderful event. That was Buck's Country Gardens in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Everyone was just so lovely, and it's such a beautiful place if you like plants and gardens and the outdoors. So you might want to check it out. And I'd also like to thank my producer, Britton Roselle, for this week's episode. And thank you all for joining me on the Maria Liberati Show. And as always, you can find me at marialiberati.com, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Twitter or X at Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Vimeo at Maria Liberati, on our YouTube channel, which is The Maria Liberati Show. And you can also find my Gourmand World award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, on Amazon and Kindle, where you can also find audiobook versions now of my books, and barnesandnoble.com, and really anywhere books are sold. And until next time, stay inspired, stay curious, and savor the simple things that make life beautiful. Peace, love, and pasta.